I don't know.
Nick, Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon.
I mean, how old are you?
I'm 12, turning 13, April 3rd. Yay!
Yay!
Teenager!
How old is your sister?
She's 16.
Does she date yet?
No. She she likes guys, but my dad says she can't date till she's 35.
I like your dad.
You probably get along.
I would get along.
Yeah.
I have a 14-year-old. Now, yeah.
What are you gonna let her date?
I'm just gonna have your dad come live with us.
Oh.
You started out the same way I did. I understand that you started out at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Are you a stand-up comedian?
Yeah. Well, my dad saw an article that kids could do a comedy camp at the Laugh Factory.
Right.
So it was like for 6 weeks or something. Arsenio Hall came on and he would critique your act.
Right.
And Richard Pryor came on.
Wow.
So that was really cool. He was so neat.
I just sucked 3 young white girl pussy. You don't like young girls? Say you don't like young girls on television.
Smile if I don't like young girls. No, I like young girls.
Yeah, I fuck them.
It was so cool. I was like, wow, it's so neat to meet him, And then there was a graduation night, and that's where the producers of the show, like Brian Robbins and Dan Schneider, came on the show, and they saw me there. So
and that was it? You just got discovered right off of the comedy camp?
Yeah.
So Amanda Bynes got her start at a comedy boot camp. Well, then I found this article. Groomed to be all that. At Disney and Nick, youngsters carefully scouted and prepped for stardom. They even take classes how to deal with fans. June 23rd, 2002. I'm not going to read it all, but I'll leave a link. Basically, I just wanted to get to this point. The new cast started with a 2-week comedy boot camp that Schneider held with help of a team that included the show's dialogue coach, Brian Peck. Lisa has tremendous enthusiasm. She's natural, said Peck, who is also an actor and voiceover artist. I've already mentioned Brian Peck before. Suddenly, this makes a little more sense.
Pickle Boy likes to hurt and tease pickles. Pickle Boy, the best pickle boy in the world.
As he strolls through Hollywood, X-Men and Living Dead actor Brian Peck does not seem to have a care in the world. At regular horror conventions, Peck has a lengthy and continuing Hollywood career and claims a friendship with Charlie Sheen. Most disturbingly, he is only prohibited from direct contact with children, not from being part of productions in which children are acting, meaning that since being convicted, he has worked on Disney show and horror movie set in high school. He played a sex ed teacher, according to the movie credits. I can't make this shit up. Peck was convicted in 2004 of a lewd act against a child and oral copulation of a person under 16. He was originally charged with 11 counts, including lewd act upon a child, sodomy of a person under 16, attempted sodomy of a person under 16, sexual penetration by foreign object, 4 counts of oral copulation of a person under 16, oral copulation by anesthesia or controlled substance, sending harmful matter, using a minor for a sex act. He was convicted in October of 2004 and sentenced to 16 months in jail, but after completing his sentence, returned to Hollywood and resumed his work as an actor and dialogue coach. According to IMDb, he has worked on several children's shows since he got out. Speaking about his friendship with Sheen in a 2012 interview, Peck said, "Currently I'm working with Charlie Sheen as a dialogue coach on his new sitcom Anger Management. We are having a blast and I adore Charlie." And on a side note, he also worked on X-Men and X-Men 2 with director Bryan Singer, himself the subject of a sexual lawsuit which was dropped, but it's another story. Brian Peck's actual sex offender conviction of a child actor was related to a show which was on Nickelodeon.
Amanda Bynes keeps her underwear in the freezer.
All right, this is insane. I don't keep my underwear in the freezer. What girl does? Okay, who is this guy? Hello?
Now you know, Amanda Bynes.
They know nothing at all.
It's okay to be dumb, Amanda.
Dan Schneider. Bring all my bitches back. I need all my bitches. I need all my bitches. The new shit you put out is whack.
Dan Schneider is a former actor and producer at Nickelodeon.
Dan Dan Schneider. I'm just trying to get an erection, but now that these kids look at 13 and under, my penis will suffer.
He is responsible for nearly every one of their biggest successes in the last 20 years.
Damn fucking Schneider! Schneider! This ain't a fucking game, bitch! I wanna watch a sitcom with my hand on my dick!
Schneider has also been the subject of some very disturbing and consistent rumors for years.
Lizzie McGuire is tight, but I bet Zoe's tighter. You can find me in her bed, digging through that vagina.
There are stories of his foot fetishes and how he acts them out on young extras alone in his office.
A little bit of weed, hard liquor for the ladies got me feeling like a young Dan Schneider from the 80s with a Jewish law firm and an all-black Mercedes, and she playing with the balls like Brady.
There are stories about his relationships with his underage teenage stars and how they led to spin-off shows for the girls or blacklisting for those who didn't participate.
Shake my foot! Shake it! I can't get it up that high! Hello! What's up? Woo! Psychowitz! Hey! Psychowitz's belly button! 4-H club! Ow!
This video goes out to one Daniel Radcliffe Schneider. If I hear another story of you taking advantage of another teenage girl, I will fly to Nick Studios myself and give you a beatdown personally. Ariana Grande was actually a girlfriend of mine in the past, and she told me all about you, Danny boy. She told me how you sold Miranda Cosgrove into slavery and how you cauterized the Star of David onto the forehead of babies.
I want you to read the second one. This is when she was underage. She was 15 on Facebook. Right. Read that.
Who wants to see Jeanette McCurdy's toes? I've got plenty of pics to go around if you tune into the new iCarly episode.
I'm terrified, Jeanette McCurdy! You're terrified! You're terrified! I just pushed Jeanette McCurdy on the floor! Now I got her foot and I'm dragging her about!
Schneider came up quite a few times with some of the people that I worked with, and this guy is just an absolute scumbag. It goes far beyond feet. He would have pool parties and invite all the kids over and be like, "Oh, we'll just take care of the kids. No adults need to come over." Whoa. So he was having pool parties with these kids that were on the shows without any kind of adult supervision going on.
Whoa. Wow, that's fucking weird, dude.
Now we're cooking with gas. This is getting fucking weirder with this guy.
Also, a friend, one of my friends that used to work on a couple of the shows they did. I mean, this goes back to the early '90s. This is back from like the all I believe the show was called like All That and Keenan and Kel and all that. It was shows from way back then.
Yeah, that was fucking shows we watched. Yeah, when we were children.
Yeah. And he would spend extremely large amounts of time alone with the kids in their dressing rooms, and without any adult supervision in there either. He would get mad if you went and if the talent wrangler, the person who would usually handle all the talent, make sure they were on set when they needed to be. If they were going and whichever actor or actress needed to be on set, if they went to go get him and he was in the middle of talking to him, he would just berate the poor PA that was just trying to do their job for interrupting them. What? He was just he's just a sick dude, and people have known about this in the industry for a long time. This isn't anything that's new to people within there, and it's not anything new to Nickelodeon either. I don't know why Nickelodeon continues to put up with this guy.
So I wonder what happened to Amanda Bynes.
In the latest string of her completely ridiculous tweets, Amanda accuses her father of sexual assault. One reads, "He called me ugly as a child and then asked me if I wanted to have sex with him, and I did not know how to respond, and I said no." She goes on further and further, saying her dad fondled himself in front of her so many times that she started recording him on her phone in hopes of catching him. She says her mom knows that he did it, and now she wants a restraining order.
Amanda Bynes' audio recording, "I'd like to kill my family." So to be more specific, she was in a car with her roommate, and her roommate recorded her unbeknownst to her, and we all heard her rant, right? Where she was talking about slitting her mom's wrists and had dreams about killing her dad.
If your father was my father, exactly, like then you would understand why you'd want to slit his wrists and quite frankly, be like literally like, this is where I go stupid, like I just want to I don't want to shoot my father in the face, and that's why I said I want to like strip for him as a joke, I want to literally like lead him into a ditch, and I haven't decided how I'd want to murder him, because now I have this like war wound on my face, and I don't believe in murder, because I know that that is like unfortunate, but it's not because it's like my father, because I look at him as like a murderer person. It's like I literally like, it's like he literally like is the worst person, and he tries to match me, like, and it's like nothing would give me greater pleasure than like I guess slitting his throat. That's what I would love. So like I'm not gonna like ever do such a thing, but like I call my mom and like I threatened like to kill her, and I threatened to slit her wrists, and I threatened to like burn down her house, and like I said a bunch of shit that like quite frankly like I've never felt better, like, or in a long time. I didn't think one unnatural thought. And so like I gotta just keep up, like I'm gonna continue telling you guys I'm gonna murder my family, like, because that's the thing, like they're in control of my money, and that's why I don't have much money right now. Like I don't need to brag to you guys. I'm an braggart. I don't like braggers.
I've already covered Marty Weiss before too, but honestly I didn't really know that he managed children in Nickelodeon.
Now, this Marty Weiss, apparently he used to teach private acting classes at his home. Parents would drop their kids off and wait outside. A reporter talked to Weiss's neighbor. Watch this.
Marty would just say they were in there watching movies or whatever. They go out bowling. I never got a weird feeling. Never, never, never. You know, Marty always said he was just a big kid at heart. That's a horrendous thing. It's sickening when you think about that. You know, and I'm kind of upset with myself that I never suspected it.
And another one from Nickelodeon, Jason Michael Handy, former Hollywood production assistant at Nickelodeon and convicted sex offender. Jason Michael Handy was arrested on 3 counts of indecent liberties with a child and 2 counts of sex offender registry violations, according to a news release. Handy was sentenced to 6 years in prison in 2004 after pleading no contest to 2 felony accounts, one of lewd acts on a child and one of distributing sexually explicit material by email, and to a misdemeanor charge related to child sex exploitation. In California, he was a production assistant at Nickelodeon and volunteered at a Malibu church. Handy used the hopes of at least 2 girls who dreamed of careers on TV to sexually exploit them.
They had arrested a guy, Jason James Murphy, who had worked with kids as a casting director, and he had a history as a registered sex offender. And director J.J. Abrams was the one that found out about that.
Jason James Murphy. I don't know if he was connected to Nickelodeon, but he did help cast for movies including Super 8, The Three Stooges, and School of Rock. I also wanted to note he helped cast for Superman, another film connected to Bryan Singer. Well, this guy stood out to me because he casted for School of Rock, and that's the only reason my old ass knows who Miranda Cosgrove is in the first place.
You say nice things about me? Because I will tase her if necessary.
Uh-oh.
I have the taser. We haven't had to use it in a long time. But
I said lots of nice things.
So I said nice things about you too.
Oh.
That's going to get on TV. What? That's going to get on TV.
You get me. You never get me.
I just did.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, that scared me so.
Yeah, I think that's more than that. You orange? Are you official orange from now on?
Fucking stoned.
The movie, they paid me, I got my money. Fuck them.